Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Chase here at Rocky Mountain. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to our entry-level helmet buyer's guide. If you're shopping for a helmet and you're on a budget, or maybe you're just getting into riding and you're looking for a great option that's not going to break the bank, and you're not quite maybe going at speeds where you feel like you're going to need to invest in a more expensive helmet, this is going to be the video for you. I'm going to walk you through. I've got 6 different helmets that are up here on the table. All are unique, and I'm just going to help give you a couple unique things about each helmet that might help you decide which one's going to be best for you. But don't take my word for it. Go read rider reviews, see what other people are saying. If you have one of the helmets that is up here on the table today, I would love to know which one you have and what you like and dislike. If you have a helmet that falls into this category, but it's not up here, well, let me know what that is and why you think it should have made it into this video. Now, the price range on these helmets, we're going to be anywhere just north of $100 up to a little under 300. I felt like that was kind of a good window as to an entry-level helmet price range. So no matter what your budget is, there should be one up here that is going to suit your needs. And last thing I will say, I want to give you as much personal feedback as I can. I have not ridden in all these helmets, but right before we film this, I tried them all on, just to try and give you as much feedback about the differences, just the little nuances that I noticed. It's not going to be the same for everybody. If I tell you that this helmet fits a little bit snug, might not be the case for you. That's why we have our fit guarantee. No matter what helmet you buy, if you don't like how it fits, send it back in brand new, unused condition. We will give you free shipping both ways on that first exchange to make sure you do get the size and the fit that is going to be best for you. Let's kick it off. First helmet is the MSR Mav. MSR actually has 2 great offerings that are very budget friendly. You have just their SC helmet, which comes in right about $100, and then you have the Mav, which is sub 200. And I've spent a lot of time personally in the Mav, and it's a really good value. It's a polycarbonate shell. It's got plenty of vents. I've ridden in this helmet. I wore it all day long for a photo shoot. It was comfortable. I didn't have any hot spots. And it's got the MIPS liner system. And if you're not familiar with MIPS, that stands for Multi-Directional Impact Protection System. MIPS is probably the most commonly used safety feature that you're gonna see across all off-road helmets, from entry level all the way up to premium. And what MIPS is designed to do is help to reduce rotational forces. And how it works is simple, is when you crash, you're gonna be going at an angle. It allows your head to slip and rotate just a little bit to help reduce those forces. So the Mav, to have a lot of vents, be comfortable, and the MIPS liner system is a killer deal. Now moving on from there, you have the Fox V1. And right away, what stood out to me the most about the V1 is the weight. I weighed all these helmets, and they're all gonna be right around 3 pounds or just above that, except for the V1, which came in at 2 pounds, 12 ounces. It's 6 ounces lighter than the next closest helmet in this guide. Might not sound like a lot or look like a lot on paper, but when you pick it up, when you put it on, it is something that you're going to notice. And for me personally, I'm an advocate of lighter helmets. I enjoy a helmet that's lighter than one that is heavier when I'm out riding. Now the V1, it's gonna have polycarbonate shell. You're gonna have the MIPS liner system on the inside. As far as the fit goes, pretty snug. One unique thing that Fox does do is that they use the same head mold for all 3 of their helmets, the V3 RS, the V3, and the V1. And I have a V3 RS. And the first thing about that helmet that I noticed right away when I put it on, pretty dang snug. So it's not gonna make my podium or top 3 as far as comfort for me personally. Again, you might feel differently, but just know that it's gonna be a snug fit. Give it a little bit of time for those cheek pads to break in. Now, price on the V1, you're gonna bump up to anywhere from about $230 and above, depending on the colorway that you are choosing. Next up is the Bell MX-10 with MIPS. Finally, 2025, Bell finally came out with a entry-level version of their Moto 10 helmet. So they have the Moto 10 spherical, which is their premium option. Now you have the MX-10 with MIPS, because for the longest time, we just had the MX-9. Even though the Moto 10 spherical came out years ago, they finally have an updated version of their entry level that looks like the Moto 10 spherical. And on the inside here, polycarbonate shell, MIPS liner system. This one's probably gonna rank in my top 3 as far as just all-out comfort. Very comfortable when I put it on. And how I rank it is I'll put a helmet on and I'll sit there and I'll wear it for a little bit, and I try and feel for any hot spots, any pressure points. And I ask myself, do I feel like I could go riding this thing all day long and not worry about it? That's how I felt when I put on the Bell. So again, MIPS liner system has a lot of the DNA, looks very similar to the Moto 10 spherical. As far as the weight goes, came in right about 3 pounds. Now you go to the Fly Formula CP. And the Formula CP, you're gonna be just shy of $300 for this. But what I like about this helmet is that they take a lot of the same safety technology from their Formula carbon helmet and the Formula CC, and they integrate that into their CP version. So the CP is actually gonna be with the shell construction. It's a tri-composite or a tri-weave shell. You've got carbon fiber, fiberglass, and Kevlar. But inside here, they have 2 pretty unique standout features. First of all, is their cone head EPS. So it's a dual density EPS that is meant to give a more progressive impact absorption when you do have an impact. And then they have their energy cells by Rheon. And this is what you're gonna see in their premium helmets. And these cells, they look pretty unique. These big blue things inside here you can see. And they do 2 important things. They help with linear impact straight up and down, but they also, like MIPS, are designed to help with rotational acceleration and rotational energy to the rider's head. So some pretty cool safety tech here in the Formula CP, but you're still coming in sub $300. As far as the fit goes, pretty snug. Not as snug, I would say, as the V1. And you notice too that the cheek pads and everything on the Formula are thicker than the rest. So they do definitely have a lot of squish to them and they break in. So it is gonna be a little bit snug, but like I said, cheek pads, everything, a lot of extra padding in there, so it's gonna break in for you. Overall though, great comfortable helmet. I've ridden in the Formula helmet a lot, and I enjoy the fit of that quite a bit, and the Formula CP honestly feels just like their premium Formula does. All right, moving on. Alpinestars SM3. Price range is gonna be similar to the Bell and the Fox V1. So this is also a new helmet from Alpinestars. And there's a couple things about this that I like. So first of all, the weight, you're right around 3 pounds. Probably of all the helmets up here today, I would rank it probably my favorite fitting. Like I put this thing on, I'm like, oh yeah, that thing fits good. It just, I could wear this thing all day long. I just really enjoy the fit of the SM3. But there's also some good safety tech. So on the inside, they don't use a MIPS liner system, but they have 5 different pieces of EPS in there, and 4 of those are different densities. And they put different densities in the areas that they're needed most. So in your areas of the helmet where you're most likely to have an impact, they'll put a more dense EPS to absorb that extra energy, but then they can put a little bit less dense EPS in other areas. So you're still getting the impact absorption, but it helps lighten the helmet up a little bit. Another cool feature I like is that the visor release system is pretty unique. This is the same technology that they have from their SM10 helmet. And all these visors up here on all these helmets are designed to break away. But you notice that pretty much all of them use screws. So if you go down and you break the visor off, which you want it to break off, it's gonna help reduce any extra forces to your head. But a lot of times you'll shear those screws off and you break the screw, or maybe the screw shears off and you have a piece stuck in the helmet. Well, you gotta try and get that piece of that screw out of there, or you gotta go find new hardware for your visor. You might not have extra hardware with you, whatever it might be. It can just be kind of a hassle sometimes. With the SM3, the way theirs works is it's designed to break off, but because there's no screws involved, and I've seen this happen many times. I work at a local race. I see riders in Alpinestars helmets where they go down and they're fine. They get back up, they can continue riding, but their visor broke off. Well, they can just take the visor and it just pops right back on. So you don't have to worry about damaging the visor and having to replace any screws or anything like that. You can just take it, pop it back on the helmet, you're good to go. And one last little feature about the SM3 that I like is that they do have little elastic loops on the cheek pads for a hydration tube. So for off-road riding, it's just gonna help keep your sip tube in the right location while you're out there. Last but not least is the Leatt 3.5. This makes my podium for fit. Another very comfortable helmet. Couple cool things about the Leatt is they utilize their 360 turbine technology. That comes again from their 8.5, their 9.5, even the 7.5. These little blue circles inside here, trying to accomplish the same thing as what all these brands are trying to do. They help with linear and rotational impacts. In fact, Leatt throws out some pretty big numbers. They say that they reduce up to 30% of linear impact at concussion level and up to 40% of rotational acceleration. So again, they're accomplishing similar to what MIPS is doing, but it's just their version of that. What I also like is that Leatt is the only brand up here that includes a pair of goggles with their helmet. So when you buy this, you will get their 3.5 goggle. So if you want to get a set of basically free goggles, it's going to match the colorway of your helmet, Leatt is going to offer that. And as I mentioned, on my podium as far as overall fit and comfort out of all the helmets that is up here. That is it. That is our entry-level helmet buyer's guide. I was brief, I was short. I have video spotlights on all the helmets that you see up here. So if you want to learn more about them, go give those a watch. I'm much more detailed in those, but I'd love to hear your feedback. Please comment below. Which one of these helmets do you have, or which one do you plan to get? And if you have any questions about them that we didn't answer today that I can help you with, I'm here to help, so make sure to ask those. We ship for free over $75. If you want to stay up to date on the latest and greatest product guides and spotlights like you just watched today, make sure you get subscribed to the Rocky Mountain YouTube channel. I am Chase, and we'll see you on the trails.